Hello and welcome to another model building workshop. I am Mr. Allen and I am coming to you from the basement meeting room here at the Smith Hill Library in Providence, Rhode Island. And we are going to be talking today about aircraft of the Tuskegee Airmen. Now in the past I had done an episode or a series of episodes working on one of these kits. But today I'm going to go over a little bit more. So I found this on the internet. It has a nice list of aircraft that were used by the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American fighter group, and this is during World War II. And this gives you a spread of the different planes, from the trainers down to the fighters. So working with kids here at the library, I was trying to get some model kits that we could work on to honor the Tuskegee Airmen. And so this is basically the options of aircraft that we could work with. So I began searching for some model kits that were within our budget. And we're going to look at some of those examples. So you got things like the AT-6 Texan, the trainer, the P-40, the P-39, a P-47 Razorback with the, not with the bubble top. The P-51 BC here, and then the later P-51D with the bubble top. So these are the options that we basically had to work with to do, fighter planes from the Tuskegee Airmen. And there's another shot of some of the training craft here, including the P-40 that they used, and that's in this book here. It's about the Tuskegee Airmen. Nice reference book here to use, the illustrated history from 1939 to 49. Everything you need to know. So I began searching for, model kits that would be within our budget, and there's a variety of stuff out there, and I'm going to start with one of the newer ones. Oops, upside down. But this is the P-51B Mustang fighter kit from Hobby Boss. This is one of those easy assembly kits, which tends to be nice to have these on hand for some of our, although it says 14 plus, I think these can be built by younger model builders here. And basically here is the assembly sequence, which isn't much, and painting options. Now granted, the painting options of the kits are not of the Tuskegee Airmen, but come on. But you can get decal sheets like this one, which has a variety of Mustangs on here, different types. So you can get decal sets. Let's have a look. Well, they do make some kits, and I'll show you in a second, that are Tuskegee kits from the get-go. Yeah, so to give you one set of stars, and they basically assumed that for all the other kits you would use the stars and bars that came in your model kit, which I guess makes sense to a degree to keep the price down, And they give you a number of different options in here, for example, and several others. So the Hobby Boss kit, the easy assembly kits, have their pros and cons. For example, the fuselage is just already pretty much assembled. You just got to fit the cockpit floor in there. And the wings are similar, that the tops and bottoms are already on there. Let's look at some of these other parts. I like how they give you these nice insulated, packing bags. And then you get these other parts. You can get the rocket tubes, which is kind of fun. I guess not for the enemy, but for a model builder, it's interesting. get the decals. Actually, you get a few extra stars and bars here, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, you could use these stars and bars and then add, you know, the stripes and so forth and numbers and so forth that go with the Tuskegee planes, and do this one in that manner. We got one more sprue here we could look at. Yeah, just a few more parts here. The bomb's a little small. So there are some things that are interesting about these kits. Like the bomb isn't necessarily the most easy assembly part, and some of these are a little small. So it tends to vary with these kits as to, we'll make the fuselage simple, but we'll still give you the itty bitty parts if you want to try that. So there's it's kind of a catch with some of these. I still like them when teaching youth how to build model kits. They're still good for that. But I have run into some issues with some of these kits in the past where there could be a lot of cleanup and a lot of work getting some of the parts off the sprue. So, and I definitely figured that to be an issue with, I think it was the FW190 kit. And I've had this issue with that kit with a number of other manufacturers where the engine cowling, the attachment points is so thick, you really have to take that engine cowling out and really sand and clean that real good because it's clunky. Anyway, getting off topic here, but so, all right. They do, like I said, make specific kits designed for the Tuskegee Airmen, like this one here. And this is 1/48 scale, easy snap. Although I tend to add glue to these kits anyway. There's a nice line of these from Pegasus. So it can be done without glue. The only issue I'm running into, you know, for me, and this is because I'm working, you know, for a library, we're a nonprofit, we have a limited budget, things like this tend to be a little pricier than what I can really work with, you know, if I'm doing stuff for a larger group. So I tend to look for some less expensive options, and there certainly are plenty. But let me give you a look at what these parts look like here. Get out of the bag. So yeah, the detail isn't too bad. I mean, it's not high quality, you know, like Asagawa, but you know, they're not that bad. And one thing that's nice is that they have, you know, you can do your options of how you want to do the landing gear, but having this ready for the wheels up option is always attractive to a kid because it makes things a little simpler, because a lot of youth don't like trying to do the fiddly landing gear, you know, because that can be tricky for them. So if you have it wheels up, it's a little less of a struggle for the younger model builders. And here you have fuselage halves. I'm noticing there's some interesting specs there. This looks like a kit that might need to be, these parts that might need to be washed in like dish soap to kind of get some of the oils and stuff off from the mold process. Looks like you may want to do that with this kit. You know, then you get the wing pieces, but anyway. I'll look at the instructions real quick here. You know, a simple set of decals. And your assembly. It's rather straightforward here. And your marking options. Oops. All right, there. Nothing really jumps out at me as being tricky with this kit, but then we haven't built it yet. So who knows? And then I'm moving on here to Revell. We're back to 1/72nd scale, which is what I think I'm going to, you know, focus on, because it seems like there's more options within our price range here. You know, I got a bunch of these as a donation. from our man down in Texas, so thank you for that. Again with the rocket tubes. So this is a nicely molded kit. It's a Revell kit. So I would probably give this to a kid that's got a little bit of experience, because this looks like it's got a little bit more work to it. One thing that's going to be challenging is the propeller blades being separate. That tends to be, you know, a potential headache issue there, you know, in the wings. Other than that, this doesn't look too bad. And with this you get both American, again the Pacific Theater, so I think in China, and then you have a British option as well here. Of course, you know, and then we have the other sets for the Tuskegee planes. I do find Revell's instruction sheets to be a little clunky to work with, the way they fold up this way. But this doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, other than that propeller assembly. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, this style of instructions would drive me insane. What I'll probably end up doing with this is make photocopies. It might be easier to work with than this. Yeah, so the propeller, it just sits in there. You put them together that way, and you get a choice of underwing equipment. That's the Revel kit. And since I'm scouring online and through different stores for different options, there's an oldie. Lindberg. Did a lot of these as a kid. Lindberg, they're one of those companies that you can kind of be in those love or hate, you know, kind of a stance. But they tend to be kid friendly, because that's when I built these. And the detail's not too bad. Lindberg can be chancy with their quality, I found. I'm not sure why this is molded in blue. I do find that intriguing. I had to put this stuff in a bag here, because all these parts are kind of floating around the box a little dangerously. But, you know, there are some small parts. I like that the tailpiece is one solid thing you slide in. You know, and you got the wing panels. This doesn't look too bad for a kid to do. You get a pilot figure there too. And again, got that online at a good price. If I can get this back in the bag. Yeah. Very tricky. Okay. Like I said, they're not my favorite kits, but they're going to work perfectly for this, because for young builders, they're not too bad. That's what you get there. The assembly instructions could be better, but you know, it's not too bad. There's not a lot to it, so makes that one a little simpler. Then we have this old Airfix one. Trying to figure what, so I'm gonna guess this is from the 80s. I don't think there's a date on here, but it's what it looks like to me. 82, yeah. Kind of typical of when I was younger. There's a decal sheet. I don't know how good that's going to work, but we have the others. So this is an old Airfix kit. Kind of ancient instruction sheet. Not terribly complicated. This one's rather kid-friendly, especially if you do the wheels up option, like I mentioned. Molds are pretty simple and standard here. I can see there's going to need some cleanup around those wheels, if they choose to use the wheels. Yeah. They're not too bad. There's a pilot figure. Yeah, there's a lot of flash on this. You know, seat and floor are already put together for you, pretty much the way they designed that. Just be careful with those pieces here. Yeah, there's a window there. So that's that one. And then we have, this one kind of got mangled in delivery. One of these starter sets. This is the newer Airfix one from 2012. Called the starter set. And this is a beautiful kit. But it only comes with the one option, which is a British option. But some of these parts get a little tiny and a little more complicated. You have the option of posing these flaps in different positions, which is kind of cool. But this is definitely for a more experienced model builder. So this would need to be given to somebody who's got experience with building kits. I did build one of these, and it is a little bit more challenging. You can see there's a little bit more to it. Busy toward the end there with all of these different steps. So a lot of these are optional steps. You know, if you want to have the windshield open, closed, you have the canopy. If you want the radiator and the exhaust, these air intakes and things, you can adjust that. The flaps. So this has a lot more bells and whistles. So again, it depends on if you've got somebody with some experience to build that. You know, and it comes with the, you know, the British markings. But again, like I said, we have our other options. And last but not least, for kids with little model building experience, is always this one. Not the most detailed kit by any stretch, but this is a pretty simple one for kids, and I've been using this for a while because it is. It's a low parts count. The landing gear, well, it's not very good, and I'll show you why. Although it has fantastic decals, though, I'll give them that. This is the tester's one. But as you see, the steps are pretty basic. So there's no wheel wells on this for landing gear. So either you just stick them in the bottom of the wing, like they're fixed landing gear, or you just don't put them in and have it in flying mode. I do find that bizarre, but for a kid, it's fine. You know, the price tends to be kind of low on these, which makes it, you know, a little more attractive in that sense, although the decal options are pretty busy, so I found that kind of interesting, because I don't know if the kids have the patience to put all those on, but anyway, so that's, you know, the standard training plane for the United States, so everybody would have learned how to fly on one of these, so including Tuskegee Airmen. So that's how that fits in. and it's a simpler option. So that's a rather, overall look at a few different, P-51 kits that are out there in 72nd scale and one in 48th, to give you an idea of the variety of kits that are out there that you could convert to one for the Tuskegee Airmen if you so desired. There's quite an option sitting out here, and if you look online or go to your shop, it's got some old kits sitting around. You might be able to find a good deal. Okay, so that's today's model building workshop, and we'll see you soon. Keep on building.